Virgin Radio.
We're with Gary Lightbody from Snow Patrol. Who has got a new record coming out, Wildness, and we're going to go through it, not track by track, but we're going to play some old songs, we're going to play some new songs, and we're going to have a little catch up, mate. It's so great to see you.
Good to see you too, Eddie. Thanks for having me.
So tell me about the cover, because you know they say don't judge a book by its cover, but you know,
yeah, if you want to judge a book, then judge it by that cover because it's awesome. Yeah, Jeremy Guy Geddes is the artist. Is an Australian artist that I was given a book that had a piece of his art on the front of it by David Joseph. Actually, thank you, David Joseph, for that. We got in contact with him, and he did that beautiful piece.
It is beautiful. It fills my heart with joy just looking at it, and at you actually. So I heard the record last night for the first time. I've just heard it once. It's a shame we're not listening to it right now live. That would be really lovely. But first thing I thought was it's very expansive production-wise, and my first thought was, who's produced it? Is it Garrett? Is that our old pal Garrett Lee?
Jackknife, yeah.
Yeah, Jackknife is still there. So you're still working with good old Garrett in his Topanga Canyon. Do you go out to America and work with him there?
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a magic between you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I love working with him. Pushes me, and we go to places that we certainly with this record we went to places we've never been to before. You know, I think sonically, and made a lot of braver choices than we ever had before. Well,
absolutely, and we'll come to that. But just before we do, I just wanted to go back because we want to play a few old songs in this special, obviously, just to, because they're beautiful songs and people, listeners to Virgin Radio really love them. So, when you hear a song like, I don't know, when you hear Chasing Cars now on the radio, after all these years, how do you feel now with the benefit of hindsight?
Still as proud as ever of it. I mean, we were on, am I allowed to mention Jules Holland?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We were on Jules Holland last night, and we played 3 new songs, but we also played Chasing Cars, and they asked us to play it, and we played it. And there's an amazing punk band called Shame on Jules with us, and along with lots of other great acts. And when we were playing, I was looking over, I caught the eye of some of the guys in Shame, and they were all punching the air like this. They're just giving the most visceral performance. Like the guy had taken his top off and he was growling at the camera, and then suddenly they're all just singing along and punching the air to Chasing Cars. And I thought, my goodness, this song really does kind of cross so many different boundaries and genres, and just gets into people's hearts, I guess. And I'm just so immeasurably proud of it.
If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Forget what we're told before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life. All that I am, all that I ever was, is here in your perfect eyes. They're all I can see. I don't know where, confused about how as well. Just know that these things will never change for us at all. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world?
The album, I say it's expansive. It sort of just on first listen, it goes almost from Nick Drake to Arcade Fire and everything in between, which is a phenomenal scope. And Life on Earth, the first song, actually begins like a Nick Drake song, and then it just kicks off.
Yeah.
So tell me about this song.
Life on Earth kind of lives up to its name because it took 5 years to make, start to finish. The chorus I wrote in 2013, and the verse took me 5 years to write.
Well, now you say that, and I
not 5 years and like constantly trying to write it.
Yeah. I heard that you were having. I heard through the grapevine. I mean, we've not seen each other for such a long time, and I've really missed you. And I was worried about you in a couple of moments. And one of the times I was worried was somebody told me that you had writer's block. Mm-hmm. Was that right? Or was that just a rumor?
No, I mean, the writer's block comes when you're trying to write on a subject and you can't figure out what to say about it. The thing I had was a little deeper than that, as I couldn't figure out what to write about at all, never mind how to write about it. So it was more of a kind of a life block thing that I was going through. But I was also drinking too heavily. It just started to get to a stage where they weren't compatible with each other, with drinking and writing songs. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, drinking took precedent for way too long. And when I finally got sober a couple of years ago, I started to get the clarity I needed to actually write again.
Yeah. And
it changed everything.
And have you had to go, or are you an all or nothing kind of guy?
Yeah, moderation has never been my forte.
Yeah.
So yeah, I you know, there's when Barney in the Simpsons, he got sober and then he has a drink and he says, "It begins." That's kind of me. It you know, like one drink and it begins.
Okay. Well, and the beginning of the album. I mean, you've nailed it. That's a great way to start Life on Earth.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
I think it's the finest song that we ever made together. I honestly do.
Really? So that's why you've stuck it front and center.
Front and center. I knew it wasn't going to be a radio song because, you know, it's slow and stuff. But so we wanted to put it as far up front as we could.
God, I hope it is a radio song.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, it's never going to be that song that's getting blasted on all the time.
Which brings me to track 2, to Don't Give In. And when I first heard that, I thought, oh my God, that's a great sample. And then I went, oh no, hang on, that's Gary. That's you. You're right at the edge of your range, which is where I never really heard you before. It's a good place for you.
Yes, but what I didn't realize at the time when I was singing it was that I'd have to sing it every night live.
Is it crucifying you?
Breaks me down to just atomic level every night.
Oh my God, because it is. I mean, I joke about it on air. It sounds like you're having a hernia.
Yeah. No, I am, and I have to have it every day now.
Oh my God. But wow. But isn't it great? It's just nice to hear that. You've got range, man.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it must be nice to hear that, and that's getting hammered by us.
Yeah. Thank you for that. It's I'm really happy that it's getting some love.
Give up, then you got on the soul. Don't
So, track 5 has got an enticing title for me, A Dark Switch. And it sounds ominous.
Yeah.
But then the song is actually very jaunty. It was a real surprise. I thought, okay, this is going to be Gary going really dark here, and then suddenly, like, it's this beautiful, quite jaunty song. There's a real juxtaposition there.
Yeah. I mean, that sort of guitar, gated guitar thing that we use on that song was, I mean, that's been kicking around had been kicking around for a long time before I put any lyrics to it. And then I guess my mind had opened finally after, getting some clarity.
Yeah.
And I wanted to write about, getting that, finally flipping the switch into the light. you know. I mean, the dark switch, ironically, is kind of more about, shedding light in your darkest places.
It reminds me of a Phoenix song, that gated guitar.
That's I'll take that. I'll take that.
Isn't it really Phoenixy?
Yeah.
What if this is all the love you'll ever get? Track 6. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely. My eyes are moistening just thinking about it. So how is your? Well, tell me about that song, and also tell me about your heart. How is your heart these days?
It's fine. It's fine, I guess. That song is less about love as it is about friendship. It's about letting someone know that's just. A lot of my friends in LA and back home in Northern Ireland are actually going through breakups and divorces around the time that I wrote the song, and I wanted to kind of let them know that I'd been there, and to just come over and sit. Let's sit together. Don't have to talk. Don't have to say anything. Just know that I've been there too. I've been in the ruins too. And
that's very sweet, but the thing is, you do have to talk.
No, you don't have to talk. You don't have to talk immediately. And you do have to talk. You're absolutely right. But you can both sit together and just know that you're there for each other.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely right.
You're right. You do have to talk, and that's an important thing to talk about in this too, and that's what I learned through my depression that I was going through for many years, is that the first times that I started to open up about it was the only times that the light came in, and that's
the key to the door right there.
It is, absolutely. With this song, it's more about just showing your friends that you're in this together, and you don't have to say anything right this minute, but when you're ready to talk, let's talk.
Whoa, whoa. What if this is all the love you ever get? Whoa, whoa. You're not worried so much about counting your regrets. Whoa, whoa. What if this is all the love I'm ever shown?
Let me talk about Soon. This is another lovely song. What a gorgeous melody. I felt a bit of Irishness in that song. I don't know whether I'm reading something into it that isn't there, but I listened to it last night and I thought, oh, this is Gary, this is Irish genetics in this.
Well, it's funny you used to say Irish, but that's about my dad. It was dementia.
Oh, really? Gosh.
it sort of connects us both. Soon you'll not remember anything, but someday neither will I. So it's sort of, and then the chorus is not really a chorus, it's just an A section and B section, but in the B section then it's me and my dad as we were, as I was a kid and as he was a lion, you know, the way you remember your dad as when you were as a kid, this sort of almost kind of classic hero, you know, with a shield and a sword.
Oh man, when the superhero cape falls off your dad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a really hard thing to go through.
Yeah.
And you're going through that now.
Yeah, yeah. He was diagnosed 3 years ago, and he was showing signs of it long before that. But so yeah, it's been hardest for my mum, I think. You know, my dad is going through it, obviously, but most of the time he doesn't really notice.
Yeah.
But my mum notices a hell of a lot, and she's with him 24/7. So.
And you've moved back to be near them now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I moved back you know, a wee while ago.
Yeah.
To be near them.
And do you feel happier
I live next
there?
door to them, actually.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And do you feel happier there now?
Yeah, yeah. I get to watch my niece grow up as well. You know, I mean, she's 10 now. She'll be 11 in July, and she, you know, I missed a lot of her childhood because I was away.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Glad to be there for her.
Soon you'll not remember anything, but then someday neither will I. Tomorrow, though, there's nothing to fear, because Father, it's always today.
Wild Horses. This sounds progressive.
Right.
The production of this track sounds progressive to me. Tell me more about it.
Yeah, it's kind of the sleeper rock song on the record, because it sort of comes late, and we had the verse and the pre-chorus for a long time, and I couldn't figure out where to go. I wanted the chorus, both Jackknife and myself, wanted the chorus to burst, and it was so late in the process. It was so late. It was like the 11th hour that we finally cracked it, and that chorus kicked in finally, and everybody was punching the air. It really was a joyous day in the studio.
Yeah,
you know, when you get you know yourself, and you make great music. When you finally get that chorus kicking in, oh my God.
Yeah, Kalashnikov's fired in the air simultaneously.
What are you holding back? I know you've wild horses enough inside of you. Stop holding back. Now's not the time to run. Serenity, it's gone to red from blue. Stop holding back. I think you want this love, and I know you don't want time without it.
So the last tune on the record is Life and Death, which, looking at it, sounds like a last tune on a record,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
it? You've always been good at song titles. But again, this is really progressive production. You've got what sounds to me like the more progressive ones at the back of the record, and really interesting songs for me, because that's where I've always been at.
Yeah.
And this is a gorgeous song. I absolutely love it. What a way to end the record.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's one of my favorite moments on there, for sure. I think it's the most, of all the songs on the record as well, I think like lyrically, everything is very pointed. Everything is very, every lyric is chosen ripped right from my life, right from my soul. With this, with Life and Death, ironically, given it's the most sort of succinct title, it's more abstract. The lyrics are more, it's more about sort of painting lines in, and I kind of wanted to leave with this, leave the album with a kind of a ... to it, rather than me sort of making some declarative statement.
So it's like the end of a Marvel film.
Yeah. If you wait another sort of minute, then there's another scene at the end. Should have done that.
Fantastic.
I want the lion, you want the tiger. It's I. Don't wanna be this far, don't wanna be so far from you. I want the lion, you want the tiger. It's I. Don't wanna be this far, don't wanna be so.
Gary, thanks so much for taking us through the record.
Eddie, thanks for having me.
Lovely to see you and great to hear this record, and I hope it's absolutely massive for you. And the ... at the end, now I just can't wait for the next one.
It won't be another 7 years.
Fantastic. I'm so glad to hear it.
It's all about the music. Virgin Radio.